If you want to be successful, you must be willing to accept that you will fall down and there will be setbacks, there will be some hindrances, and you are not willing to give up.
Welcome to New Life AG podcast. Thank you for logging in today. We have a special guest among us, Dr. Saji K. John. It's a pleasure to have him here. He's been a blessing to our church. But a little intro about him. He's served in OM Books for 25 years as the managing director of OM Books. And after that, he joined Geneva Global as the Asia head. And then he took a step of faith and started John's Foundation. It's a pleasure to have him here. And thank you, sir, for your time and for agreeing to be here. You have raised up, trained, and sent out a lot of people, and they've been successful. And you yourself are a story of success. Give us a little peek into your journey, how far you've been, here where you are right now. Give us a little bit of an insight, please.
Thank you, Pastor Suraj. Thank you for having me here. I'm glad to be here. Actually, my first senior leadership position began with a ministry ship called Doulos, where we had 350 people from 42 different nations. And my job there was to make sure that every one of them had a ministry opportunity on board the ship or on shore. Our goal was to train them and send them back to their church and their area to be effective in their own ministry. And then later on, God enabled me to start OM Books. We started in a very small room, single, and this was in the late 80s. And God really blessed that work. And it grew to be the largest Christian book distributor in the whole of Asia.
Wow.
In fact, we used to distribute 3 tons of books and Bibles every day. God really blessed it, made it profitable, and which supported the ministry other than OM Books itself. And then Lord also helped me to start 52 schools as the National Director for Good Shepherd Schools. Later on, I moved on to Geneva Global, which is a funding agency. It funds NGOs that are involved in social work. And I worked as the Asia Director both for Geneva Global as well as USAID in Asia. And we supported so many Christian ministries. Though it was not a Christian work, my position enabled me to help Christian work as well. Later on, in 2007, a pastor brought 2 girls who were left on the streets of Hyderabad. He brought them to our home and asked whether we would be happy to take care of them. And at that time, both me and my wife were working in senior positions, earning well. But at the same time, we realized if these girls are left on the streets, they will soon be trafficked into sex trade. So we decided to take them on into our home. And my wife resigned to take care of them. And that was the beginning of John Foundation. That was in June 2007. And what began with those 2 girls has grown today. Today we have 24 children homes. And then we have 655 children of single moms whom we take care. We have 700 kids in our 24 tutorial centers. And we train about 1,250 young people in our skills training program every year. We have a church planters training program every year where we train 30 to 40 young people. And also we have a school. We have many other ministries that God has given us. But the exciting thing is God has also given us businesses to help support this. God has given us 2 very successful garment factories, a large Bible warehouse, and also a online shopping place where people can buy garments. So God has blessed us. Since 2007, we have seen God's hand upon this ministry, and we are grateful for that.
Wow, this is truly an inspiring story. But some of us are very comfortable where we are, Of course, there are special cases like yours where it's amazing, you're living a dream, God has blessed you. But some of us can be very used to the mundane. So why is it even important for us to think of success? Is it even necessary for us to do that?
To be very frank, Pastor Suraj, I have never come across anybody who don't want to be successful in life. Everybody want to be successful, but may not be willing to pay the price what they need to pay. Because success allows you to leave behind a legacy which your children and grandchildren can be proud of. And most people want to do that, want to leave behind a legacy which they can be proud of. And wanting to be successful and having a dream is what motivates you, and what makes you to get up every day out of the bed excited about wanting to achieve your dream or wanting to be successful in life. And I believe people, those who want to be successful, must have a dream in their life. They must have a goal as to what they want to achieve in life. And actually that goal, that dream, that desire to be wanting to be successful stretches you and helps you to build something that not only blesses you, but bless the others as well. So I feel it's very important to have that desire, to have that dream of wanting to be successful in life.
Yeah. In most cases, in almost all cases, success doesn't happen overnight, right? So what are the characteristics, that one need to have to actually be successful? Can you give us a little on that?
Actually, this is a broad subject.
Yes,
actually, you need many things to be successful. But let me just share a few things that has helped me in my life.
Yes.
I think we all need to realize, in order to be successful, the key or the first thing, we must be willing to work hard and persist at it. And if you are not willing to work hard, then you cannot see your dream becoming a reality. Working hard and becoming your reality, making your dream a reality goes hand in hand. It won't happen overnight. You got to be working at it, and you got to be persistent as you face problems, as you face challenges and the hurdles that come on your way. You still have to be persistent and keep your goal in mind and keep persisting at it and keep working at it. Now, if you give up every time when there is a hardship or when there is a criticism and when there are hurdles on the way, then you are not going to achieve success. So the first thing I want to share here is, in order to be successful, you got to be willing to work hard. The second thing I would leave, that has really helped me in achieving my goals is, if you want to be successful in life, you as a person must have a positive outlook on your life. Not only on your life, but also on the other's life. Now, most people are okay with that, but there are people who are not positive about themselves, nor are they positive about others. And they think of themselves as people who are useless and end up being useless. And there are people who think of themselves as not capable. And when you think of yourself as not capable, you become a non-achiever in life. And there are people who think of themselves as not having any abilities and end up not using the abilities and the gifting that God has given to you. And you just think of yourself as, no, I'm not good for anything. I don't have any ability. I'm not good enough. And I want to share with you that we are not as bad as what we think of ourselves. God has blessed us. God has made us unique. God has blessed us with gifting and talents and abilities, which helps us to make us successful. So you got to be thinking of yourself. You should have a positive outlook on yourself. And thirdly, success also comes from being hungry for more. Now, you cannot be successful if you want to maintain status quo. You got to be learning. We live in a changing world, and we got to be hungry for more. We got to be learning more. We got to be willing to stretch ourselves. So success requires hard work. It requires a positive outlook. It requires for you to be hungry for more. And success also comes from having patience. You got to be patient. As you said in your question to me, it does not happen overnight. Yeah. It does not happen tomorrow. It takes time. And it is something which takes place on a daily basis. It is something which happens a single step at a time. Yes. Every time you take a step, it is one day at a time. You got to go on working on it. You got to be patient with it. It is not something that happens with one-time commitment. It is a daily commitment. A lot of people want to be successful, but they want to see results tomorrow and make some sudden changes. It doesn't happen like that. It takes daily commitment. It takes daily hard work, and also it is something where we need to put our efforts on a consistent basis, whether it is a job, whether it is a ministry, whether it is a business. It is a consistent effort, and being patient with it is what brings you success. Now, let me share one more thing, that to be successful, you and I need to be willing to pay the price. Now, there are many people who hope to be successful, but they don't want to pay the price. They don't want to pay what it takes to be successful in life. Now, I have seen an illustration of success, which looks like a very nice iceberg outside. But underneath that iceberg is what goes into that. That is persistence, that is failures, that is sacrifice, that is disappointment, that is discipline in life, hard work, dedication. And all of this is there which has brought you that success. But most people don't see what is underneath the success, what shines outside. So you got to be willing to go that extra mile, willing to pay that price. Now, if you sleep 12 hours a day and hope to be successful, I don't think you will be very successful. And it is a matter of willing to sacrifice, willing to give your best and go that extra mile. And one more thing which is very important. If you want to be successful, you have to have God in your life. As a Christian, if you think of success, true success, I mean, you will not have a true success if you don't have God in your life. So, having or giving the right place for God in your dream and in your success story or in your life is what makes you truly successful. Now, as I said, there are many things, but these are few things that come to my mind.
Yeah, I think you put it beautifully, and you were talking about that iceberg comparison, and one of the things that is hidden and not seen are the failures.
Yes.
And I want you to talk a little bit about that. Now, one of the greatest enemies of success, I believe, is the fear of failure. How does one overcome that? How do you do that?
Fear can be a powerful motivator at times. But at the same time, fear can be the biggest stumbling block for you to be successful. It can work as both ways. Now, risk taking and success goes hand in hand. And there are two things in life which makes you successful or wants you to be successful. And these seems to be coming from two opposite directions, but they achieve the same goal. One is the thing that you want to be successful makes you work hard. The other thing, the fear of you failing makes you work hard. They are coming from two different directions. The desire for you to be successful and the fear of being a failure on what people would say, both makes you work hard and makes you to be successful. Now, in life, most of us are scared of failure. Some of us are scared of failure in exam. Yeah. Some of us are scared of failure in interview, yes, or a business or even marriage or a relationship. And the thing is, all of us do make mistake one time or the other in life. Even the best batsman, we all are familiar with cricket, even the best batsman can fail at times. So failure is something that every one of us will have to go through, and we will have to accept it. But the important thing is not whether you failed or succeeded, but how do you respond to that? How do you respond to a failure? Failure is part of life. If you want to be successful, you got to accept that failure will be part of success as well. But how you deal with it? The most success people are people when they fail, when they fall down, they get up and say, yes, this is an opportunity. I must move on. I must achieve. They use that as an opportunity to get on. Now, failure can never be final unless you treat that as a final word in your life. You don't have to take failure as final in your life. And you just have to take that as a learning experience, as a stepping stone or an opportunity. I mean, there are a lot of people, even in the pandemic, who has taken pandemic as an opportunity to grow their business. I mean, I don't have time to explain some of those examples, but this is true. You take those as growth opportunities. So you have to deal with those failures in that sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though you said failures are part of, the success story, How can one avoid these failures? Can you give us a little bit on that?
Now, again, there are many things in that. Let me just share a few things that help me. One, failing to plan can lead to failure. Failure. I mean, we have all have heard that saying which says, if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. And in Proverbs chapter 27, verse 12, it says, a sensible man watches for problems ahead and prepares to meet them. Now, success does not happen automatically because it needs planning. Now, a dream without planning becomes a daydreaming or a wishful thinking. It never becomes a reality. So, if you want to be successful or if you want to avoid failure, you got to plan. Now, it is very interesting for me when I talk to so many ministry leaders. It's interesting, they have such large ministry, but most of them don't have a ministry plan. Most of them don't even know what is a business plan. Most of them don't even know how to put together a budget. Now, planning is very key to avoid failures in life. If you really think of success, growth, then planning is key to avoid failure in life. The second thing that will contribute to your failure in a big way is when you think you have arrived and I don't need to learn anymore. And that really can, I mean, the Bible talks about it in Proverbs chapter 18. It says, pride leads to destruction and arrogance to your downfall. The moment you feel, I know everything, I don't need to learn anything more. I know this industry, I know this business, I don't need to learn anymore. That's the beginning of your downfall. Or even if you think in a business that you don't want this particular customer, I can manage with other customers. I tell you, that's the beginning of your downfall, because every customer is very important, because every customer is unique. They have their own way of saying things and struggles, and you got to learn with them, give the importance that is needed to them. Now, academic degree can be something which is time bound, but learning has to be a lifestyle. It has to be a lifelong process. And there is a saying which I really like it, and I share this with my staff all the time. You have to get better to get bigger. You have to get better. You cannot get bigger without getting better.
True.
So that's the second thing. One is failing to plan will lead you to failure. Second, if you think you have arrived and you don't need to learn, definitely that will lead you to failure. The third thing, which is again a very key thing, and most people fail in this area, is being afraid or to take risk, or to being afraid to take new initiatives. The fear of failure can cause failure. The fear of failure can cause failure. We worry about what others will think. We worry about, oh, if I fail, how will the community look at me, or how will they view my capacity? And this fear itself can make you fail. Now, fear sets you up to be a loser. If you are so afraid, so scared to take opportunities, so scared to take decisions, so scared to take new initiatives, you are missing out on golden opportunities. Any golden opportunity that comes on your way comes with its own set of fears and scaredness or risk or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you must be willing to take those risks. And so that fear, we have to be careful. We have to take those risks. We have to take those new initiatives, the newer things to achieve greater things in our life. Now, you cannot expect to maintain a status quo and grow your business or grow your career or whatever. There is always learning process. There is always taking the risk. And so the failure to plan can lead you to failure. The thing of, I know everything, I don't need to learn anymore, can lead you to failure. And the third thing is that not willing to try new things, not willing to take risk can lead you to failure. There is another thing that can lead you to failure in a big way, is when you give up too soon when there is a failure. Now, I have started a number of business programs. None of them were easy. They all give you the headaches. Yeah. They all give you the pressures. They may increase your blood pressure a little bit, but you can't give up. That's part and parcel of being successful. When you start a project, there will be some hindrances, there will be some setbacks, And successful people are people who are willing to get up after a fall, knowing they will be stronger and equipped better to achieve greater things in life. Now, if you want to be an achiever of your goal, then if you want to be successful, you must be willing to accept that you will fall down, and there will be setbacks, there will be some hindrances, and you are not willing to give up. People who are successful are people in the midst of those setbacks, in the midst of those failures, they will say, okay, this is what I want to achieve, I'll keep going ahead with that. Now, let me share one or two more things which can lead you to failure, which I have seen very much among my friends, is when you don't get started, you fail. There are a lot of people who say, I want to start this. I mean, a person who comes to my mind, good ideas. This person has been talking to me for last 10 years about starting a big work, and I keep telling him, go ahead and start it. Go ahead and start it. But they never start. Every day you want to start, but you are not starting. True. Now, this is what I would say. If you feel your dream or goal is worth achieving, and if it is God honoring, go ahead and start today. Go ahead and start. You must start somewhere. You cannot wait lifelong to start something. You must start something. And again, the other thing that leads to failure is if you ignore God in your life. As a Christian, if you don't give God the place what it needs to be given, and then you are set for failure. You are setting up yourself for failure. If you live a reckless life, if you live a life which is not disciplined and God honoring, naturally you are giving yourself to failure. Now, these are some of the things, and again, as I said, there could be many other things, but these are some of the things that I can think of.
That's nice. The pandemic is not exactly a conducive environment for success. And how does one thrive during this time?
You know, Pastor Suraj, I fully realize, I don't want to minimize the effect of the pandemic. It is true, it has affected a lot of people. Yes. And it is not easy for a lot of people. And I want to acknowledge that because I don't want to sound it easy. But however, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, you are responsible for your life and your success. You cannot blame it on pandemic. You cannot blame it on circumstances. You cannot blame it on the community or whatever is happening around you. At the end of the day, failure and success is your responsibility. A lot of people blame people around them, but that's not going to really help. So instead of blaming the pandemic or waiting for the so-called norm to return back to do something, I would encourage people to just go ahead and see what opportunities are there and ask God for wisdom, creativity, and discernment to get on to something. We faced that problem. Last year, we had our sales were going down, especially in our garment factory, and I had to look for an opportunity. By God's grace, we were able to get products which take care of antibacterial products. And I tell you, we just were looking for it. We got orders for hundreds of thousands of pieces. And as I told you, my work grew, my business grew by 27% last year. But you just have to look for opportunity because these will always be there. Pandemic, people hindering you. I'm not saying they will not be easy, they will be easy, but it will be hard. But at the end of the day, you got to stand up and do it. And God will give you the grace if you honor God in it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. And I believe that it has been a blessing to many and to me personally. And we are hoping to have you on this again for another podcast. You have so much wisdom in you and experience. So we are hoping to gain from that and to be blessed. Thank you all for joining today. I hope this time has been a blessing to you, and I hope that many of you will attempt and be successful in the coming days. And God bless you.